I think my mom is she probably doesn't get as much credit as she should, but I think my mom is the backbone of it all. Her work ethic is something that I was trying to mimic and, trying to follow in her footsteps as far as her work ethic to be as successful as I am. And I think, she is a great role model, and I think that without her, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in today.
It helps when you have two people in the household that's on one accord. That's huge. So basically, if Kevon is training or trying to make weight or doing this or that, she understood that I couldn't work him out for 2 hours and then she run him to McDonald's or run him to go get a float or whatever. So I think it's very important to have that element in the household. And then also there were times where I probably was a little hard on Kevon, and she had to be the one to come in and give him a hug and maybe pull me to the side and say, look, you had him in the basement for 2 hours. You need to give him a break. So I think in those situations, balance is always a very key role. But like I said, at the same time, she seen and she fell in love with the sport as well and understood the sacrifices that needed to be made for him to be on an elite level.
I think that prayer is it's a great, especially pre-match. I think it's a great way of stress relief, something that I can use. And a lot of schools aren't blessed or fortunate enough to be able to pray together as a team, just because they're at public schools, whatever that is. But I think that's something that I've been blessed and fortunate enough to have that instilled in me. I think it's a great stress relief before I go onto the mat, because it's something that I can use to take away a lot of the pressure. There's just praying before a match just relieves so much pressure off of your shoulders, so much doubt, so much worry. It kind of helps you focus in and just fine tune yourself, and it helps you become at one with yourself, prior to going onto the mat, or if you're praying at another time. I think that prayer is it's like a form of meditation. It's something that you can use, and it's unique to you because you can use it however you want to and use it in any situation. And I think that's one of the things that I love about prayer, because it's just unique to you, and you can mold it and use it however you want. And it's a powerful, great thing.
Well, I think for me, being a Christian male, I think it provides, again, the balance, So regardless of whatever, everything must be kept in perspective. Yeah, we all want the kid that's going out there winning. We all desire this, that. But at the end result is I want to raise a God-fearing young man that's respectful, that's disciplined, that knows how to seek God in those situations. And again, regardless of whatever, we have a standard that we have to uphold, whether we feel the call in the match didn't go the way we wanted to, whether he came up a little bit short, whatever. Having that relationship with God, what's real. The main thing is the main thing. And that's always being right with God. And whether he's a champion on the mat or whether he goes 0-15 on the mat, if he has a relationship with God, that's by far the most important thing. And when we seek God out early in those things, I feel that that's when you're led and the choices that you make are ordered, or your footsteps, or God puts certain people in your life to help you ascertain those goals, as is long along the way that you give him the glory, and that you understand that if he's in the mix, like Kevon said, when you go out there and you may feel that you're out there alone, but being spiritually minded, you're never alone, and that you're going out there win, lose, or draw. And that's pretty much my conversation with him. Win, lose, or draw, we still going to give God the glory. We're going to pray that Kevon don't get injured, that our opponent don't get injured, for the sportsmanship of it. We just want to compete, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I just thank God for the balance, and with God, there's that longevity to understand, again, the race is not to the swift, it's to him that endures. So to understand the process, and to be able to being a mindset of wanting to improve, and in some cases at a rapid rate, but also to understand that he's got to do this for X amount of time. So again, it's not to the swift. So that's where the balance come in, to be able to sustain, because we got to finish this race. We got to finish this spiritual battle. Same with him. This is a process that I don't need to see the best of Kevon right now. You know, we push, but it's a certain time that the best of Kevon will be revealed. And right now I feel he's just scratching the surface of his skill set and what God has blessed him with. And when it's time to peak, that's when you're going to see a gold medal put around his neck, or an NCAA championship. You know, and again, these are things that there are no guarantees, but by faith, we believe. You know, we believe. So, you know, we're going to hold on to our faith and continue to do things in a certain order, to where, you know, our desire is never to burn bridges, you know, to always show good sportsmanship, and, you know, use these things not only to develop Kevon the wrestler, but Kevon the young man. You know, my goal for him, and I tell him and Cameron, is to first prepare them for life away from me, and then prepare them for life without me. So I think the most important thing that I can give them is a relationship with God. I think the internet, again, like you said, it can be a tool. As a young dad with a young man that desired to wrestle at a certain level, my initial learning of wrestling outside of what I picked up on the room, I can remember nights of being on YouTube watching technique videos from 10 o'clock to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, point where I understood, for me to take Kevon to the next level, that I couldn't depend on Coach A to go to Tulsa with me. I couldn't depend on Coach B to go to Kansas City with me. So there was an element of the sport that I had to generically pick up on my own, and I began to study that backwards and forwards around, and implement some of the training, some of the methods, some of the things that I've seen into my preparation with Kevon. Now, as time has went on, probably don't do that as much as I do. I am on the social media. You know, I have a son that was in the military, one a truck driver, and various friends and supporters that are very interested in Kevon's development. And when I say interested, I mean that have supported financially, spiritually, in various ways. So I like to keep them abreast to his accomplishment. Also, at the same time, long term, you know, or looking at it, my goal is to project a positive image. Projecting that positive image, I believe, bids well with, you know, colleges or this or that, you know. So not only do I have a son that just happens to be a good wrestler, I think he's a great person and great personality that in some degree I feel it would be selfish to hoard it to all myself. Now, in doing so, it can come across, well, he's bragging or he's doing this or that, but, you know, hey, it's by choice whether you watch it or you don't watch it. That's, you know, still a choice, you know. So I don't have any issues with it. Plus, you know, if at any time I'm in need of financial support, because this is a very expensive sport when you get to, you know, having to travel overseas and go to tournaments that are as long as Fargo is, this or that. So there are times when I need the blessing of the village and the community to help fund some of these trips and training situations. And, you know, obviously the internet and social media is a heck of a platform to assist in those ways. But like you say, there's the good and there's the bad. There's times where I go on some forums or chat groups and I hear the negativity talk, this or that. But again, I don't feel a need to defend everyone's opinion. You know, that's one thing that, you know, I understood, and I often try to get Kevon to understand. When you're sitting on top, you become the object of attention, both negative and positive, and all the comments. Everybody not going to take joy in your accomplishments or sit back and want to critique the accomplishment, but at the end of the day, I usually hold my peace, and those feelings generally pass, because a lot of the talkers, what have they done, or what have their son done, or what is he doing, this or that. So at the end of the day, I really don't feel a need to justify my actions. Sometimes I may say certain things, and only, for the most part, based upon experiences, both good and bad, to share some things that I feel may help someone down the road to not come across some of the stumbling blocks that I came across. But, for the most part, we use social media, and as these grown and things have changed, and me just being a free spirit, and I have to kind of remember and recoil or be mindful of some of the posts that I try not to post things of Kevon beating opponents that we know are local opponents or this or that, so to glorify, and I won't use the word glorify, I'll say to commend Kevon, I try to make sure that it's not a situation to where I'm stepping on someone else to lift him up in the light. So if we can do it, and really, as you know yourself, Corey, if another person wants to do it, that's all right with me. But at the end of the day, I think results will speak for themselves. And, and I'm the one that if I post something on YouTube or this or that, Kevon might not like it, but I'm going to post that loss just as well. You know what I'm saying? Because, I don't want to be the one that just showing you this or that. I want to show you that defeat too, so it's real. You understand the challenges, and I don't think that there's anybody out there that ain't got their tail handed to them at least once or twice. So it just come along with the game.
I think things are, I think things are going as planned. I think I'm right where I want to be as far as everything recruiting wise. I think I'm I'm at a time now where I'm supposed to go out and take my visits and go out and explore the country and see what's out there and see what are at these these top-notch schools and see what makes them top-notch schools. So I feel really good about my recruiting process and where I am right now. Michigan, Nebraska, North Carolina State, Minnesota, Virginia, Ohio State, Oklahoma State. The list is on and on. But
yeah, Corey, to add to that, I think his work ethic and character has put him in a position to where he has some very good choices, and understanding that this is a choice as far as the high school to college situation, that he only have one opportunity in his life to do. So I think, to go through that situation and not be hasty and not rush in that situation and enjoy the process, but yet at the same time not drag it out. I think we're at that position right now. And like I say, some of the schools that he has as options, has probably superseded my expectations, knowing that he was that type of athlete. But again, we're talking about a blue chipper that's ranked probably, I think, number 4 in the country, number 15 at his in his graduating class. I would be telling a story if I didn't say that they probably somewhat exceeded my expectations. But again, when I measure it with the hard work, I'm not going to tell you that I'm surprised by it. But, again, it's a blessing to have those type of options. And, at the end of the day, it's his choice. Again, in some of the schools that he mentioned to you, we could went on and on. In some schools that we just, and I'm talking about great schools that we just gracefully bowed out of their interest just to not have his phone ringing all day. I mean, since we've been on this interview with you guys, he's received a call from a college that, he looked at, but we just say we'll get back with him. But it's a great, and I won't even say problem, it's a great situation to have. But at this point, I think it's a situation that he's earned, and we're going to make sure that we're prayerful and that we come together and that he makes a choice that's going to best suit his desire and his accomplishments that he's looking forward to at the next level.
I'm looking for a school with coaches that are good coaches that can develop talent. But at the same time, I'm looking for coaches that are good people and team chemistry. At Catholic Central, that's something that we take pride in. Before the team state finals, we're playing spike ball or tag or something silly. But I'm just looking for like a team atmosphere. I'd love to go into a college locker room and see, all the guys in there kind of joking around, having fun, or, hanging out with each other outside of practice, outside of school. That's some of the things that I look for. Just that really, a great team bond and a coach that I feel like I can trust. I want to feel like I can go, to any of the schools that I want to go to, and there's a coach there that's going to care about Kevon the wrestler and Kevon the person, how I'm doing mentally, how I'm feeling physically, just how I'm handling adjustments, how I'm handling changes, but at the same time realizing that they are, coaches and not babysitters.
When your child is going away, there's no guarantees, but you like to put them in positions with men that you can trust and you feel have his best interest at heart, both on and off the mat. He has some very lofty goals. Still, at the end of the day, our biggest goal is to go in and come out with a college degree. So the education part of it, what type of support groups do they have there for the student athlete? Because it's challenging. These guys, even now for Kevon, to wake up and make the commute back and forth to Catholic Central and to put in the amount of hours that he puts in as an athlete, it's very challenging. And I think that it's be very important of what type of support group he has there to help him stay tasked and stay focused, not only on being a great wrestler, but also attaining his goals as a student as well. So, I think, me and the missus are very high on that. And, we value the conversations that we have with the coaches, the relationships that, that they've, tried to build. Obviously the Michigan coaches, Kevon has been visiting the RTC program for 4 years, and there's a relationship with the coaches, but some of the other coaches that we didn't have relationships with, that have done an outstanding job of communicating with Kevon, expressing the interest in Kevon from day one. So I think that goes a long way in the trust factor because, again, when you get to sending your child hundreds of miles away from home, the young man always is going to be challenges and there's going to be some mistakes made. You just want to make sure that outside the realm of your own home that someone else has a safety net or cares enough about him to see things developing and communicate with him to make sure he's still headed in the right direction. And, those things that, we are prayerful for and, God willing and God blessing, he'll be in a situation like that and have those types of coaches. And sometimes when you look at coaches, especially at the college level, it becomes the coaching staff, where you see 3 different coaches that have 3 different personalities, and you can see how those 3 personalities fit into the body of what your child needs. One nurturing, one a little stern, one a big brother type. So, you kind of look at things just like, they're analyzing him and interviewing him. That's why I like to go to the UWW with some of those tournaments like that, because now I get to sit up in the stands and watch how they treat their athletes after they win, after they lose. So it's not only are they recruiting us, we're recruiting them as well, because I'm observing how you handle situations, especially in match situations or after rough losses. It's good to sit back and watch them coach as well.
All right. Peace.
Bye-bye.